last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
Hey guys, welcome to another Star Wars episode. And this time I wanted to talk about Dave Filoni and a supposed comment on Ahsoka Tano. I had this back and forth debate on Reddit, and it was about, how Ahsoka changed time and all that stuff. And me and the guy I was talking to went back and forth. It was like 20-something comments long, almost 30. And two of them stated, Filoni said that her voice in The Rise of Skywalker doesn't say whether she's alive or dead. And the other guy was pretty much saying that Dave Filoni stated that Ahsoka didn't change time. There's no alternative universe. I was researching to see where exactly Dave Filoni stated that. I found a few things, but not necessarily anything that really hinted to that. This is what I found. If anybody else found anything else, direct me to it. But we do know that, The Mandalorian probably is taking place in an alternative timeline. That's what I think. People think I'm crazy when I say that. Because of Ahsoka's actions in the entire Star Wars. But it wasn't really Ahsoka that I'm talking about. It was Ezra's action. Pulling Ahsoka out of that portal. Having Vader miss her completely. Because if Ezra didn't do that, then Ahsoka would be dead. But yes, then there are people that say, but maybe that was meant to happen. Maybe Ezra was supposed to pull her out. But how about if Ezra wasn't supposed to be in the world between worlds? The mythical plane, how about if he was never supposed to be there? And with him being there specifically, that is what changed time. That is what made an alternative timeline. Him making the decision afterwards to save Ahsoka made another branching arc, another change in time. If he didn't do that, then it would be a time loop. Ahsoka would always die by Vader. But when Ezra went into that world, he already broke the time loop. He destroyed the time loop. And Dave Filoni had an interview, I think it was last year, and he said that this is according to Ahsoka changing time. He said that's not necessarily chronological. I think that the thing that people will most not understand is they want to go in a linear fashion. But as I learned as a kid, nothing in Star Wars really works in a linear fashion. He's referring to 4, 5, and 6, how they came before 1, 2, and 3. But George Lucas, his reasoning for that, he stated that he wanted to start with the interesting part of the story, already thrown into the heat of battle. 1, 2, and 3 takes some time to pick up. You already seen episode 1, it starts slow. Then episode 2, it starts building. That's when the Clone Wars really hits. And episode 3 was the climax. And then Dave Filoni said, you do not episodes 4, 5, and 6. And then, you do episodes 4, 5, and 6. And then 1, 2, and 3. I apologize for that. And then he stated, so in vain of that history, when you look at the epilogue of Rebels, you do not really know how much time has passed. So it is possible that the story I'm telling in The Mandalorian actually takes place prior to that. Possible. I'm saying possible. So now he's saying that The Mandalorian takes place before Star Wars Rebel. And that is the biggest lie. And I'm calling Dave Filoni a liar on this right here. That is the biggest lie that came out of his mouth. Because we all know that The Mandalorian takes place 5 years after the Battle of Endor in Return of the Jedi. And Rebels, in a large part, took place between New Hope, somewhere before New Hope, around there. So the epilogue scene was placed after the Battle of Endor of Star Wars Rebels. And then Ahsoka, she did mention she's seeking Grand Admiral Thrawn, who we know disappeared with Ezra at the end of Rebels. So how does that make any sense? People are saying, oh, Dave Filoni said there's no alternative timeline. So he must be right. Yeah, he's not gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, Ahsoka created an alternative timeline, and we're wiping the sequels completely, or not wiping, we're branching away. He's not gonna say that. That would be the biggest spoiler ever. He would not say that. And not once did Filoni state Ezra didn't do this, because it was Ezra Bridger who pulled Ahsoka. It was Ezra Bridger who entered the mythical plane known as the world between worlds. It was Ezra Bridger who changed the timeline. It wasn't Ahsoka. It was Ezra. Until I see that man, Dave Filoni, state Ezra did not change time. Ezra did not create an alternative timeline. Then okay, he didn't. That's what he stated. But Dave Filoni never stated that. So for those that are saying this theory is false because Dave Filoni said Ahsoka didn't change the timeline is taking place over here, he never once said Ezra didn't do this. Ezra didn't change time. By Ezra saving Ahsoka, it didn't alter time. Time goes in multiple directions. Today I decided to go to work. But if I didn't decide to go to work, I would probably get fired. And I created an alternative timeline for myself. Now I gotta live in a future where I'm jobless, opposed to living in the future where I have my job by deciding to go to work. Every moment there are choices where we create a different time bridge for ourselves, a different branch. And by Ezra entering the world between worlds, he created that time gap, that time branch, he broke that time loop in half. And I strongly believe The Mandalorian takes place in an alternative timeline because of Grogu. Because if it wasn't for Luke coming to save them and getting Grogu, we would be looking at a different story. Actually, I'm sorry. If it wasn't for Ahsoka, who told Din Djarin where to go to contact the Jedi, Luke, therefore, wouldn't have saved them and discovered Grogu. If it wasn't for Din Djarin and Ahsoka, Luke would have never discovered Grogu. Ahsoka should have been dead. Ahsoka died. She died in Star Wars Rebels. But Ezra changed time, therefore he saved her. And I'm sticking by that, guys. I'm sticking by that until someone gives me a credible argument to my theory. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Take care. Subscribe if you have not. Thank you.